Hey everyone, this is Adam, your quote friendly end quote evil referee. Real quick, I want to give out a couple shout outs to a couple of our patrons, Glenn and Shane. In the last couple episodes, we used a few of their contributions for our random roll table, so thank you guys for your contributions so far. Everyone else who has contributed on there, we have the roll table going, so at any point, keep an ear out for when those contributions pop up. Also, speaking of our Patreon, that's where we've been posting screenshots of like battle maps or the travel maps as we go along. Those are available for anyone who follows us on Patreon, so you don't have to be a paid subscriber. You can follow us as a free member, and you can see copies of the maps on there as a free member. And I bring that up because later on in this episode, there's a rather lengthy conversation about the travel map the guys have been working with because of the code and the scavenger hunt, I guess, that they're on right now. So if you want to check out the map that they discuss, it'll be there. And that way you can kind of follow along later. But anyway, without further ado, please enjoy episode 146, Strawberry Shortcut. Do you remember where we left off?
We were on our way to Bravo, correct?
Alpha.
Alpha? Oh, we were on our way to Alpha.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you guys had gone through, you were trying to head to Alpha, and you hit a minefield, and then you went north, and you found a crater, and then you went to go northwest. So That's kind of where we're at the moment.
Serpentine around it.
We're actually heading into the evening now for you guys to go into that hex. It would be like this movement now at this point is evening time. So you would actually be back one hex, and first thing I would need is weather roll. Kyle, weather roll.
Rolled a 5. There we go.
All right, so it is still cloudy. And do you guys want to keep moving, or... Because the hex that you're currently in, you're technically not in it yet. You're actually here. You haven't moved into that one yet. That was where you were headed to. So do you guys want to go there? Because I think it's going to be only one hex of movement because you're off-road and it's hills, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would get there and it'd be the end of the evening shift going into nighttime. Or do you want to try to camp where you are and then go that way?
Wait, so are we going into evening or going into dark?
Evening. This is the evening shift to move to that hex.
And then the next shift, as soon as we go to move,
will be nighttime.
We'll be moving at night.
Yes.
Okay, then I say we camp here because we don't need the negatives of getting caught at night, especially with the possibility of another sniper party running around. So I would say set up camp here. Then we'll head out after morning shift. We'll move it afternoon.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest that we start getting on a regular, start camping at evening and then go out in morning, because that just makes more sense in general. Because we keep going out at evening, and it's kind of fucking us up.
I mean, you're still going to end up with like a dim light shift and a dim light shift on either end. So
Right.
It's just, when do you want it?
Okay, so you want to make camp tonight?
Yes. Camp night, camp day, camp morning, and then we'll take off afternoon shift. Try and make it to A.
Wait, what? I thought... so we're going to camp evening and night, and then leave in the morning?
Evening is the shift we are in.
Yes.
And we will finish the shift of movement in evening.
Okay. So we're going to move one more hex and then make camp.
Yes. Then we will go night,
morning, and then move during the day shift.
And then move Well, it would
Okay.
be afternoon to, yeah.
Right, move during the day shift.
Yep, day
It's
shift.
Morning, day, evening, night.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Deal. Okay. So we're going to move one more shift. Or one more hex.
All right. Survival roll for navigation. And, yeah, survival roll for navigation. And then recon roll for whoever's reconning, which I'm assuming is probably
Murph.
Chris. Yep, at a -1 for the lighting.
7 and a 1 for survival roll.
All right, so that's a B and a B on recon. 8 and a 6. So dose.
Okay. All right, so you guys are moving along. The sun is setting in the west on the other side of the hills and the trees. And you guys have actually moved through this hex before, so you kind of go through and notice some areas where you've seen like this terrain, but just headed in a different direction. And so you move west. Go ahead. You guys move into that hex. What does that look like? You guys moving along?
On point, Murph is definitely going slower and meticulously because of the whole minefield. And trying to leave like a clear path for them to follow in case we do come upon one.
Yeah, and this hex is mostly hills, so it's a lot of like up and down, up and down.
And cautiously, because we're entering what we think is an observed zone.
So what's the marching order? Because Murph is probably point since he's the one on lookout. And you got how many successes, Chris? 1 or 2?
2.
2. Okay.
I'd say it'd be Murph, probably Emmett after that, and then I would say Bruce is probably pulling up the rear with Novak in front of him. Just Bruce would be pulling up the rears because Bruce is simply just not paying close enough attention to keep up.
He's looking at his book.
But Novak is staying back with him to kind of bring him forward whenever he starts getting a little too slow.
Bruce?
I am not reading my book. I am paying attention.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So when I heard the word mines and things, I snapped too.
He's thinking about the hex to the northeast that had a crater with a bunch of armored vehicles in it.
I may or may not be thinking about that.
While they're camping, I would...
I'm going to go back and plunder it.
Guys, I don't feel so well.
So you guys are going along, and as I said, the sun's setting and it's starting to get dark. Clouds are out, so you're not getting any, stars or anything like that. Occasionally you'll get like glimpses of like the half moon, maybe, but it's headed towards the new moon right now. So in a couple days, it's going to be,
Dark as shit.
no moon. Yep. But you guys don't seem to run into anything dangerous yet. Chris, you find a spot that seems like it'd probably be pretty good for camping. Since you guys are going to camp in this hex now, so roll me. Yep. Survival, recon.
It will be bare bones camp too.
Mm-hmm. And then whoever's staying up on watch with him.
All right, survival. 8 and a 6 again.
Okay. So we do not have a mishap on the camping.
And then recon for the concealing it. Is this pushable? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
9 and a 2. I will re-roll the 2, pushing it. 6. 9 and a 6, so 2.
Okay, so 2 successes. All right.
Captain Emmett, what was your recon?
Recon is a C and a C.
Okay, then it'll be me up with Murph.
Yeah, and the distance that you can see is pretty fucking limited too because of the nighttime. It's like 50 meters.
I got an 8 and a 1.
All right, so 1 success. Okay. And the other 2 of you are going to be crashing?
Yeah, we'd head down.
Okay.
I hope we don't run into your friend this time. I hope it is a one-off scenario.
I definitely hope that you're right, but based on what we saw, I don't think that's the case. You?
I don't know. If we're guarding this place that you think, we are likely to run into them, but if they were doing something else, then I do not know. There was just so much about that. It did not make any sense. It was confusing, at least.
I mean, somebody that I've known for years lied directly to my face and basically told me to fuck off when, I know it's every man for himself out here, but he clearly had a team. Seemed like they're protecting something.
Yeah.
Or watching, observing. I don't know.
Yeah, they were looking out for something or I do not know. Hopefully, we can investigate this site and we do not run into them again.
That would be great. But I wanted to bring this up to you when we were talking before, but obviously we got distracted. A couple days ago, I did get the first piece of good news that we've had here in forever.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
That my spotter, remember I was told that Adam, it's one of his people, wasn't it?
It was Rose that told you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it was Rose. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so it's...
And he was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Running into... So we'll just... Rewind button. When Rose told me that my spotter survived, that was a big thing for me. That's something that I've been carrying on my conscience for quite some time.
Oh, it's like your partner.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I've had a couple partners, not too many, but there is a special bond. You go through the same things, and you understand each other. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I thought it was my fault that he got killed because we stayed in position, trying to give our guys overwatch and protect them when we started taking incoming, and we didn't move.
Oh, and that is because of you.
It is. I was trying to keep our guys below alive.
Okay, so you think he's dead because of decision you made, but come to find out he is alive. It's good news, yeah.
Very much so. I feel like a bit of a weight has lifted off my shoulders.
See? It's always a good thing for next day.
That's true. You might be onto something.
Maybe, after a time you find this man. Hopefully he is the same man that you knew before and has not changed too much.
Kind of like Rose, who we met?
Yeah, if he was your friend, I would say he is shit friend. There's something about that man I do not like.
I don't know if friends means as much out here anymore. It does in our close-knit group, but kind of seems every man for himself at this point.
Has always been the same. People only think there is, big thing to make people good. People are good, people are bad. It does not change times.
Not long after we got out of the POW camp, we came across an American unit, and we're all excited. We're like, hey, Americans, we can trust these guys. And they robbed us blind. That was eye-opening.
You see, only people who have monopoly on being good are good people.
It's a fair point.
Hey, Kyle, would you do me a favor and roll a weather roll for the night shift? We did the evening, but we didn't do the night one yet.
I rolled a 1.
So this whole conversation's happening in the rain.
I was just about to say.
Yep.
That actually tracks, right? It's raining. They're kind of like
Huddled up in the same general location. Yep.
Yeah. Jeremy, did you roll a recon roll for your on watch yet?
I did.
What'd you get?
1 success and 1 absolute failure.
Oh, yeah. It was like an 8 and a 1,
It was 8
wasn't it?
and 1. That is accurate.
Yep. So as this conversation's going, you actually, like, you can hear the rain coming in and, like, hitting the foliage and the trees around you, and just kind of that loud sound of, rain in the wilderness. But you also, like, for a second there, like, pick up the sound of, like, you hear a bark right here, like, ruff, ruff, and like shuffle, and like it sounds like there's dogs out there.
Shush. You hear those dogs?
I do.
We stay quiet, maybe they go on.
Yeah, and the rain should throw off their scent, hopefully. Yeah, quiet.
Every once in a while you hear like a ruff, 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 ruff. And like rain's coming down. And it seems like they're just kind of like, I don't know, out there maybe 30, 40 meters from you, like in the brush.
Murph has his M4 while he's on watch, or not on watch, but with not the sniper rifle, but he kind of grabs it, has it at the ready just in case.
Merrick?
Because of the limited visibility, he's got the 9mm ready. Mm-hmm. So his police issue pistol.
And this goes on for a while, and you can still hear the dogs out there, and then it kind of, at some point, it just seems like you don't hear them anymore. And then the rain's coming down, and the rain starts to let up, and you kind of are listening. Hear if you can still hear that rustling out there in the, foliage and in the brush, but you just don't hear it anymore, and it's quiet. But in the east, you start to see that slight little bit of light start to come up. And we're going in the morning shift. Kyle, rain stops, so you don't have to worry about rolling a weather roll. And it is now the morning of June 28th.
Lieutenant Bruce, wake up. It's your turn for watch. Captain, it's morning time.
Anything fun happened while I was asleep?
Sound like dogs in the brush, but maybe watch out for them. Maybe they come back, huh?
We have had way too many experiences with dogs since we've been in country.
Gotcha. Dogs. Dog bad. Okay, I'm in.
And I'm assuming Emmett is getting up too?
Yeah, Emmett will be up. He would take the watch for the morning.
Okay. And we see Murph and Merrick bed down. And LT and Emmett are up. Which one of you is on watch, and what are you doing, LT? I know how to ask that question.
I'm on watch. Doing.
Okay.
No, I'm on watch. And then LT is doing whatever LT wants to do.
What is LT doing?
I don't think we're anywhere to really scrounge or do anything.
I mean, you're in the wilderness, so scrounging, not so much. Foraging, yes.
Let's do a forage just for fun. I haven't foraged in a while.
I think you got last time you tried foraging and you ended up taking a point of stress.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, give me a survival roll.
A 10. 2 successes.
All right. Let's see. It's summer, so it should be a 0. We should have done that first, but that's fine. Yeah, you're able to find 2 rations of something. Mountain oysters, maybe?
Rocky Mountain oysters. I found these bull testicles, guys. Check them out.
No, so you tell me what it looks like him foraging for food. I'm assuming you were looking for food, not water.
Yeah, looking for food.
Okay.
I found berries. I found a patch of blackberries. So I'm able to take some blackberries back.
Hold on.
Are blackberries in Poland?
Let's see. Blueberries. It looks
Raspberries.
Deal.
Strawberries, wild strawberries,
Strawberries.
sweet cherries, sour cherries, raspberries. You're good on raspberries. Currants, blackberries. They do have blackberries.
Excellent.
Bilberries. So take your pick.
Ran into a whole bushel of dingles.
I'm gonna say wild strawberries. I found that.
Wild
patch of
strawberries?
Wild
Yeah,
strawberries.
The description here on this website I stumbled at is they are amazing, so sweet and delicate. In Poland, they grow in open fields, forest, meadows. That's probably not so much in the mountains and the hills then, but whatever. I'm cool with that. They look like tiny strawberries. They are difficult to grow, so if you happen to find them, consider yourself lucky and simply enjoy them without adding anything. So, yeah, sure. You find a shit ton of fucking wild strawberries. That's fun. Thank God for the internet. Imagine playing games like this back in the day without internets, where you're like, I don't know what the fuck they got in Poland.
We would just assume it's a berry, and also we wouldn't have to validate our choices to anyone.
Right, because you couldn't podcast it to anybody. Also.
We wouldn't have Polish listeners going, that's not right.
That's all right.
We have none of those things.
Get a book on Poland, learn something.
These heathens don't care at all.
All right, so you find some berries, and you get back, and you see Emmett, and he's kind of keeping an eye on the camp. And the other 2 while they're sleeping. And Emmett, you see LT coming back with a helmet full of berries.
Hey, look at that. Check it out. Look what I found.
You know, that thing might be better on your head.
It's going to be a good day. There's nothing out there. We're in the clear.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No gunshot goes off. And the day shift, or the morning shift, other than that, is pretty much uneventful.
I will eat a thing of berries and hand Captain a thing of berries.
All right. So that would be your guys' day worth of rations. The other 2, you guys wake up. You guys want to eat and drink, be merry.
I will eat and drink, but I will not be merry. You cannot make me. But I am down to 0 rations after consuming my last one. So 0 food for thought. Okay, Captain. So we go to next one, Alpha, huh?
Yeah, if everybody's fed, watered, and ready to move, we'll try and make it north. See if we can't figure out what this next clue is.
Subtract ration and water.
All right, so that'll be recon roll when you guys travel from Chris, and a survival roll from Brian.
11 and a 3, so 2 successes on recon.
7 and a 6, 2 successes on survival.
Okay. What was it again, Chris? 11 and a 3? You said 2 successes?
Yes, I was shaking my head while spitting.
Oh. That is an ineffective form of communication for audio.
But it's fantastic if you've ever had them do it to you.
That was all going to get cut. Now it won't. That's
Brian, challenge coin. That was good. That was a really good one. That was good. I like that. That's funny.
Chris Hawkshaw Leslie.
Terrible. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. What's the distance? Okay. All right. So you guys leave your camp, get all your gear, start loading up, put your packs on, and start heading north. As you're heading north, you're coming out of the hills and starting to come down into like a slightly more forested area, and actually significantly more forested area than where you were. And you're going along, and it's getting thicker. And Chris, actually no, Kyle, you usually roll weather rolls like this. Actually, first of all, weather roll, because this one actually, it might start raining again if you roll a 1.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, it is still cloudy. Now roll me 2d10.
That's never good.
When you're scrounging, it's good.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I rolled a 6 and a 9. Nice.
Winner. He won. He won the game.
All right, so you're going along, and you going through the trees, like different tree lines, and hit another open patch and get to another tree line, but it's mostly fucking pretty forested in this hex. And as you're going along, Chris, you kind of come out around, you get to the edge of this one tree line, and up ahead, about 150 meters, you see the remnants of a farmhouse. And when I say remnants, I mean like the walls look like they've been blasted down. The terrain around it looks like maybe artillery had hit here, mortars, things like that. You can see like armored vehicles had come through here. And, some of the walls are still standing. You can see like remnants of like a second floor area with like a bed still sitting on it that's like kind of half dangling off that second story over the first story. And you see a chimney, like an old stone chimney is one of the other things that's still up for some reason on like the north western side of the house. You can see it over there. And yeah.
I'm picturing like a country version of Saving Private Ryan, like when they go into that town and like there's the building where it's half blown off and the family's still in there.
Yeah, but it's like there's not much of this thing left. Like it really is like a little bit of a wall here, a little bit of a wall there, kind of this 1 second story parts here, and like a small bed kind of hanging like halfway teetered off that second floor.
Might provide a little bit of cover though. So he stops and takes a knee and wants to observe it just out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah, you kind of pan around the area, and it's kind of just this house in the middle of this like clearing in these woods, and it's got like a long drive that comes up to it. It's like an old dirt road, kind of panning along the tree line, and you don't seem to notice any movement around. You don't notice any movement like in the house per se, but you do see, like I said, craters and like obviously damage to the terrain. Not like recently, like it doesn't look like it happened like yesterday. It looks like it's some of the grass has started to grow back over those areas, but just based on the like inconsistencies in the terrain, it's like, yeah, this place has seen some shit at some point, like maybe a few months ago.
Like at some point, somebody or a team may have been holed up in this house and they got fucked up.
Right. Yeah. It's like walking through a field that had been plowed and then grass started to grow over it type situation, where it's just like, inconsistent and tire marks kind of in it, but like from tank treads. Brian, you're checking out your map to see where you're, like where you are, and you're checking, you know, how far you've gone. You got your little pace count, ranger beads going, and you're like, you basically figure out that where that house is pretty much the spot for those coordinates.
Hey, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure we're looking at A here.
You think it's the house?
What, the house itself is A?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's based off of best calculations. That looks like where it would line up.
Okay, same as the cross. Me and Bruce go up to investigate, and you and Mr. Murph make cover.
You think that's the best bet here? Or this is just me thinking out loud, but would it be better for me to try and make my way there, give you guys the clear, and see if anybody shoots at me on the way?
I'm not opposed to this idea. If you want to do reconnaissance around place to clear it out, make sure it is okay, I'm okay with this, yeah.
Yeah, if you're offering you to get shot at instead of me, then okay.
If that's the case, you probably go solo, and we will set up on the outside. And we'll cover you.
So that's where your coordinates are pointing, at that house. If our thoughts have always been this is some kind of possibly like biolabs, right? I mean, maybe basement, something.
It could be, but if you go around secure area, then we can investigate and find out. Threat of building is probably less of an issue, but more threat of surrounding area. You know?
Yeah, we're gonna see if I get shot at.
Okay, Captain, I will set up here, and I will point my rifle over here to the west of the house. Is that okay? And then you cover east side with Lieutenant, or vice versa, however.
No, that works. We'll get ourselves a good wide view of what's going on, and then Murph, if you want to take a walk about and make sure the area's secure, then we can figure out where we go from here. I'm guessing this isn't where we're supposed to be. I think this is just going to be another see if we can't get some clues to line up with the book.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be a walkabout. It's going to be a sprint about to get there first, and then we'll see.
All right, well, you the man. You run it. We will watch your six, and you let us know what you find out.
Sounds good. And Adam, he drops his stuff with them, takes his M4.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nah. If he gets holed up, sniper rifle might be good. Yeah, leaves his pack and everything. Sniper rifle slung, M4 in hand.
M4 or M9?
Thought I had the M4 from our... I don't remember when. Got the M9.
I was just curious to when you got an M4. That's all.
I have it on my sheet. I think.
No, it's fine.
No, I think
it's your business. I was just curious.
When we were with what's his your dead character.
Which one?
The British one.
Because I had the shotgun in parts. I'm pretty sure I have an M4 because Kyle got me ammo.
Yeah, I just didn't remember. It's fine.
I think he picked it up during the riot.
That sounds right. Yeah. What?
That's when he picked it up during the riot.
Why am I blanking on Yuri? No.
Valentine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was during the riot was when you got that M4.
Yeah, Steve. Albert.
I think it'd be more of like random.
We flash back
Russian
and we
names.
see this guy named Bill getting issued his M4.
See that shot in the head during
Yeah,
the
and see it all the way. See it all the way, like all the hands that it's passed through on its
Yeah,
way
yeah,
here.
we see all the hands it's been. We follow it back to the factory it being assembled. It gets opened up inside this box at an armory, and they're like, "Here you go, Bill. Here's your M4. Thanks, man."
Shot and killed in the field, and then pigeons carrying it by its strap.
That ends up in Krakow on this NATO guy's shoulder during a riot, and he draws it, gets hit by fucking rounds from the guards, and then drops to the ground. And then Murph picks it up. All right. Anyway,
All right.
so Murph takes out the M4. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we're going dead sprint to the house.
Okay. Roll me a. I'm not even going to worry about your recon rolls. Everyone else, roll me a recon at a +1. Actually, which one of you has the lowest one?
I'm a B and a D.
Lieutenant
All right,
has the lowest.
give yourself +2 actually for the terrain too, because I'm assuming you're staying in the trees.
Yep, 2 Bs.
CNC is mine.
And he has camis.
That's on him. I'm just giving him terrain modifiers.
A 6 and a 1.
I would ask if you want to put, do you want to spend a challenge coin and push that roll? Actually,
Yes.
There's no one here.
A 6 and a 10. 3 successes.
There you go.
there you go. Well worth it. Nobody has any idea where LT is.
The rest of us are fucked.
Where the fuck did LT go? Standing perfectly still, right next to a tree.
Eating Cheetos.
All right, so Murph takes out his St. Christopher, gives it a kiss, tucks it back in, and says, "All right, cover my 6." And he's off.
I so Murph goes sprinting towards the house. The 150 meters, which would be pretty fucking quick for him for the most part. I mean, you should be able to make that in like no time. And you're going across. The terrain's kind of rough. We see him headed towards what's left of this house. And he gets to the house. And you get up there, and it's the same thing. I mean, were you going to go around the perimeter, or were you going straight to the house?
Not at first, straight to the house, and then take cover and observe, see if... Didn't take a shot, so that's a good sign. And then just scan the tree lines.
The front door is still kind of the archway is still there. The door itself is kind of like half hanging off the frame of it, but the frame of the front door is still there with a little bit of the wall still attached when you get up there.
So he's going to basically kind of take a knee in like a covered position, use the rubble of the house as some cover, and put the M4 next to his side and take out the sniper rifle and scan the perimeter.
Okay, roll me a recon roll for looking.
11 and a 9, so that's 3.
So you're scanning across the tree line around it, kind of hitting angles that they couldn't quite see from where they were because of where the trees were. Their line of sight was blocked, and you're kind of looking around, and you see that it goes off another 100 meters to the west past where they could see because of the way the tree line is, and kind of scanning over that way and scanning over towards east. You can see down the road that leads up to the house, and it's just like it's this long driveway that really just kind of goes to the house and like heads back off into the trees to the north. And like you presume it would be headed towards that main road, you know what I mean, like in some fashion towards that main road that's another 10 kilometers north of you, that there's probably back roads that lead that way.
It connected this house to the main.
Right, and like somewhere through the trees and everything, there's like these windy back roads probably that go through there. But it's fucking quiet, and you're 3 successes sure there's nothing out there. That's a fun way to say that, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
75% short.
So he relaxes a bit after, doing a 360 scan of the perimeter and stands up and waves them up.
The pigeon flies overhead.
And then he's still going to be on the lookout to cover their advance up.
Mm-hmm. Brian, Jeremy, Kyle. If you guys look around, you have no idea where LT is.
Lieutenant Bruce. Lieutenant Bruce.
Hey, right here, guys. Right here. Right here.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
He's right behind you.
So we go up now?
Yeah, well, let's move in.
All
Move
right.
in together, and we will take a look around and see if we can't figure out what's going on here.
Merrick is going to begin his investigation from their original position and just taking it very slow and taking in every bit of information he can possibly gather from where they are to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, your book say anything about this location?
Not really. There wasn't as much information on this one. Just mostly the Alice location. And
Sure,
You know,
there
I was
might
able
not
to-
just be something that you're overlooking.
there absolutely could be. I mean, I've read this time and time again, and I'm either too dumb to figure it out, or there's no extra information. So
I understand that. I mean,
yeah. So we may just have to investigate, because I don't know.
Well, either way, this is on map and would make no sense if on map for no reason. Misdirection, maybe. But we still have to check,
Yeah. I bet it's something cool.
Could be cool, could be nothing. We find out.
As they're going slow, Murph is kind of having a panic attack because they're like right out in the open.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So he
But you are covering us, huh?
yeah, he keeps swinging like side to side, looking.
All right, so as you're moving up, Jeremy, you're looking at the terrain and like where the house, like what damage you can see to the house, and like the same craters that Murph had kind of pointed out on your way up. And roll me a recon roll. Is that how you do your shit?
Yeah,
Right.
For the
For
investigator, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how you want to do it because it's specifically investigating a scene of a crime or a battle. So
It's battle. Yeah, that's fine.
okay. If you see anything weird, let me know, okay? And I will, take a look at it. That is my way of asking if I get a bonus on the recon for that.
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay. Either way, narratively, fluff-wise, if you see anything weird, let me know. I got an 8 and a 4.
Okay, so one success.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Yeah. All right. So you're coming up towards the house, and you're like, same thing I was saying is like looking at the terrain, and it seems like, yeah, these were probably tank treads that came through here, or at least like armored personnel carriers. You're looking at the damage to the building, and it looks like, there had been mortar rounds had been shot into here probably. You see a couple larger craters around that look like, maybe that one over there might have been artillery, or maybe a few mortar rounds hit in the similar area and just made craters bigger, and making the same hole bigger, and
That's not how mortars work, but okay.
unlikely,
statistically unlikely.
especially after a few months,
Sure.
Statistically unlikely is not a no.
It's not impossible, but
Right. But also, like, the grass has kind of, like I said, started to grow back over this terrain. So what you're really just seeing is those unnatural deviations in the terrain. You know what I mean? Like, normal ground doesn't look like this, on a day-to-day basis. And, you're kind of going along. You start getting up closer to the house, and it looks like, yeah, the house had been... You could see some bullet holes in the house still. Some of the walls that are left, you can see like someone had hit it with like larger machine guns, or it had taken, hits from mortars, things like that. And it's just kind of these bits and pieces of the house are left. And it's really not much. Like there's a few interior walls, a couple of the exterior. The chimney, like I was saying, is still mostly intact with some of the wall there around it. And you can kind of see like the fireplace there as you get up to the house. And you get up to where Murph is. And, yeah, now you're up there. So it looks like there had been a gunfight here. You know what I mean? And like as you're walking along, occasionally you'll step on an empty shell or some like had been scattered about in the terrain.
Old brass. Yeah.
Yeah. Old casings. And you get to the house. What do you guys want to do?
All right. Do we think this one's got like disease stuff too, or we should?
It looks like it was just shot. There was battle here, clearly. But much of what we walked through, you could feel how soft it was walking. The rain has not completely factored in yet. But the swells are from indirect fire and some from the tanks or armored personnel carriers. It seems like they assaulted this building. So, we investigate this building, huh?
Yeah, and from where you are, like right there, because Chris was right there by the front door anyway, like you can see like a skeletal hand sticking out from underneath like some rubble that has fallen from like the top down. Like this happened a while ago. This wasn't recently. You know what I mean? Like this was a while, long enough for it to be a mostly skeletal hand sticking out, you know? So time frame wise, you know, exposed to the elements. Could be a couple months. Yeah, this could have been part of Operation Reset at this point, like this fight that happened here. But yeah, so you can actually see like the remains of like some bodies inside this house, and yeah.
So from canvassing around the house and in the house, I would like to investigate the absolute shit out of this site.
Tell me where you're going. It makes it less boring.
I want to look for a basement entrance or something like that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Good job, Chris. Thank you.
Hadn't got
what are you looking for?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm
looking for just books or papers.
Information on the scene. What is there? A root cellar access to the basement? Is there etching on the fucking chimney? Is there?
Just tell me where you're going. All like, right. What are you looking for at a moment? And I'll tell you, and we'll deal with that, and then we'll deal with the next thing. So I'm not just monologuing for an hour. That's all I'm saying.
Murph's theory is definitely a basement entrance. That's the first thing that went through his mind.
Merrick's process is he's effectively doing a police call.
Mm-hmm.
So he's walking back and forth through these fields looking for any evidence of anything at his feet, and he's doing like a 1 meter perimeter search from where he's at. So he just walks and he's just almost aimlessly walking, but he seems to be walking back and forth across the entire site.
Yeah.
Almost in a back and forth, and then he'll change his direction and come back and forth the other direction. So he's kind of zigzagging in small columns across the entire site.
So more so around the house, not in the house.
Oh, no. All of the above. As he gets to the house, he goes into the house and like zigzags through there and then continues on past the house. The house would be part of a single zigzag column, so...
It would probably be more in the singles. It's a decent sized house. The house is like, I mean, it was 2-story, probably like 3 rooms. You know what I mean? Like deep and like 4, 5 rooms ish wide. You know what I mean? So it was a pretty decent sized house.
Several passes through the house. Yes.
Right. Sure. All right. So Chris, you're looking for a cellar entrance. You do find like what would have been a cellar entrance on the outside of the house on the western side of the building. It's kind of like an entrance to like a storm, like a root cellar, basically. Maybe a wine cellar, actually. It's like, you know, creak the wooden door open. You kind of go in and like you just get hit with that like sweet rotten smell of like, you know, kind of turning to vinegar smell of like wine bottles that had been broken and, you know, all over the place now, and just like mixed in with that musky collapsed basement smell. And Jeremy, you go around the front door.
Yep.
And you're in an area that used to be a foyer, and you see, like I said, you know, you can see like the remains of what was the staircase at this point. Like half of it's been collapsed. Straight ahead of you, which would be the north west side of the house, you can, because the house kind of runs north, like southeast to. I'm sorry, it runs from southwest to northeast, right? Like
okay.
that's the angle the house is sitting at. And on the back of the house, from where you came in, or around in, is where that fireplace is on the northwestern wall, essentially.
Okay.
And that's kind of like what the larger room is that had that fireplace.
Okay.
In it.
So he's meandering through these rooms as he's going and picking up rubble here and there, trying to look under it, and just keeping an eye out for anything that looks like it doesn't quite belong, or books or papers or anything that seems out of place.
Mm-hmm. On the floor in front of the fireplace, on what was that area around there, the floor, like you can see all this debris and stuff like that. But you look on the fireplace, and above the mantle on it, you can see this like large mirror, right? But it looks like the glass has been blasted out of it, and all you have left is like the frame of it, just like that was hanging up over top of this fireplace. And so you can see like basically an empty frame of the mirror that was like bolted onto the fireplace, and then like you look down, you can see like shards of broken glass in front of it.
He grabs a piece of the glass. Is there any glass remaining?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the ground around in front of you. Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any left remaining in the frame or not.
No, not really. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, there might be like a couple jagged pieces
sure.
like left over. Sure.
He picks up the largest piece and holds it up in the glass and says, "Alice through the looking glass," and starts trying to see what is on the other side of the mirror.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It was hanging on the fire, on the chimney. So, like...
Yeah, I get that.
Over top.
He holds up a piece of mirror to look into the mirror to see what's behind him by trying to orient it to the mirror.
You see LT back there.
I'm doing the whole Travolta thing.
In the middle of a field. Yep.
Yeah. Emmett, what are you doing through all this?
Emmett would have stayed at the front door, just kind of posted up to kind of scan from where we came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then you also see Emmett behind you, like looking, but you see his back facing to the southeast.
Lieutenant Bruce, here, come see, come here.
Okay. What? Okay. Well, ooh, look at all this glass.
Yeah, so we have a mirror here, right? Is the Alice through looking glass? Is direction
I see.
to the direction orients to the other Alice site, right?
What do you mean?
So the orientation of the mirror going backwards, does that, it points towards Alice, the site.
Roll me a survival roll.
Oh, fuck. B and a D. I'm gonna push it. I got a 3 and a 5.
Okay.
Seems worthy of taking stress. And I do. I got a 9 and a 1.
All right, so you realize it's not pointed exactly back at where the Alice site was, but it's in that direction. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it seems more like it's running perpendicular to the to that.
Perpendicular to
So it like
Alice.
makes a 90-degree angle with Alice. So like hypothetically, it would make a 90-degree angle.
But would point to B or some other direction, huh?
Roll me a survival roll.
Okay. A 4 and a 2. I can take a lot of stress. It'll be alright. I got a 10 and a 1, so...
All right, so, Murph, do you have a map, or are you going to have to call Emmett over, or does LT have the map? Or
I have a map. I have a map.
Okay, so you and LT sit down with the map, and you start plotting it out. And, you know, you kind of like draw a line between the coordinates of here and at A and at B, and make that straight line, and that is that same perpendicular to the direction Alice was facing line.
Okay, so Alice through looking glass goes from here is perpendicular to Alice, goes to B.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
But
So-
also to other direction. And as Merrick's poring over the map, he remembers sitting down at a kitchen table with Amelia, and they're putting together a puzzle. And that memory suddenly just pops into his head, of them just putting a puzzle together. And then he flashes to seeing the shadow in a house. Oh, yeah. So, I guess we follow this line. I guess we need to also go see B, right?
Okay, so we have the other direction to be, but like, what's here? There's nothing. Is there nothing here?
We found looking glass here. Yeah, Alice through looking glass. I will be your reflection. You know, like you say a song from.
Yeah.
What is it? Satin Underground? Is that what you say?
Velvet Underground. Yes,
Velvet
absolutely.
Underground. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever.
Kyle, roll me a your intelligence roll.
My intelligence is a B, so I roll a flat B, and I got a 2.
Oh no, I meant two of them.
Two.
Like roll 2 of them. So roll that same die again.
A 9.
Okay. So you're kind of reviewing the book, looking back at this, yada yada, and you remember that the story was actually based upon a house that Lewis Carroll's, that this family that he was friends with, they had a mirror over top of like a mantle on a fireplace, this large mirror, and that was kind of where he had gotten that idea from in the first place.
There's a lot of, and none of this stuff can be coincidence. It's just too coincidental. Like this mirror above this mantle place, it's absolutely a kismet part of this story and its origin. So, you know, I think we're onto something with, you know, the direct correlation to the other place, and then back to Alice. You know, we've definitely got something here. It's all coming together.
While you guys are talking about it, and you have the map right there, Jeremy, you have that piece of the mirror, and you're kind of using that as like a straight edge, right? Mm-hmm. And you have it like drawn across between point A and point B. And as you do, you see the line continue on to the northwest, like that reflection of it in the mirror.
I'm sorry. I'm dumb and I don't quite understand what you're trying to tell me.
From Alice to, like, if you draw that perpendicular line that Alice was facing, right? Yeah. You're using a mirror as a straight edge between A and B. And you see that line coming from Alice, passing between A and B, straight line. Uh-huh. And when you see it in the mirror that you're using it as a straight edge, you see the reflection. But, like, for a minute there, you're like, it continues on to the northwest. Like that, like if you were to go through the looking glass.
So you go through the looking glass, continue to the northwest.
Yes, northwest, yes. The
line goes on. The player is not smart enough to figure out what is happening here.
So are you saying where the line that connects A to B,
Mm-hmm.
then that intersects a line going northwest?
Yes,
from
the
that
one from Alice.
intersection
The
of A and B?
Yeah, the direction that Alice is facing. I'm saying he uses that mirror there as it. And you see it too, Kyle. You see it, and you see that line that you guys had drawn of the direction Alice was facing. And it wasn't quite directly pointed at A. It was slightly to the northeast of A, right, is where that line is going. But then when you hold it there between A and B, you see it go, whoosh. Like you see that because you're using it so you can see when you take a mirror and...
The intersection.
Yes,
Alice
the
passes
intersection.
through the looking glass.
And you remember, Kyle, because you'd brought it up before, LT had brought it up, about how Alice goes through and everything's reversed on the other side, like through the looking glass, like right is left, left is right.
That's what's so crazy about this story is it was, she went into a whole nother world where everything was reversed. Down is up, left is right. And
So I think, Adam, if I'm reading you correctly, instead of moving on to Bravo, following that line that goes from Alice just to the northeast of A seems to be our correct course.
You mean northwest of A? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Yeah, yes.
So basically
I see what
following
you're
the
saying.
red line between Alice and A, if you continue along that azimuth, however you want to, following the red line is actually the way it's not going to be. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But it'd be more to the right. You're following the red line directly. Well, I guess you can't really do it, but yeah. There you go. Oh. Yep. We made the assumption that the line from Alice was pointing at A, but it wasn't directly on A.
Right. It was pointed slightly off of A.
And there's probably another clue at B. That's the assumption. But maybe we circumvented it. I don't know. Or there's going to be another Ooh. What about where a straight line from where B dissects that line that we're looking at now?
yeah, will it have a cross hatch that'll make another intersect?
Yeah, I think,
Oh, or just to the northeast of, where they're bisecting.
I'm color coding it. Blue is where the mirror was.
Yeah, I'm saying where blue and red intersect.
I think we still need to go to B and figure this out. We still have to check,
Sure, but we can take a look at this spot where we think the line to B intersects with that line coming from Alice. It's
Oh
on-
yeah, we should check that out, of course. But these fucking mirrors and backwards, upside down, fucking.
They didn't make it easy for us. I mean, depending on how deep the rabbit hole goes, if it were, everything's got one or two answers.
Well, I am definitely not a scholar. I'm just following your cues.
These fucking.
This sounds very agency, by the way.
And Merrick flashes back to sitting by his son's bedside when he was extremely ill, when he had a high fever, and he's wiping the cloth on his head, and he's thinking about the plague that could be released if Shepherd's Flock gets there first. Okay, so we go to B, we look for clues there, and then possibly find more information. All this shit is fucking backwards upside down.
All right, so we want to head to B.
We have to look, It looks like there is lots of forest between here and there.
We're close enough. We might as well.
I mean, does anything in that book say anything about B? Directly?
Just the location of it. We're able to find it as one of the items. I mean, coordinates of it. So, but like the specifics of what you do from there, I can't figure that out.
All right.
Not for nothing. Even though this is frustrating and kind of seems like we're chasing our tails a little bit, it's nice to have a mission again. A purpose.
Problems are not nice to have. It's easy.
Yeah, I've always had a purpose and a mission. This is just secondary. This is filling in. All right, so we're heading to B. We still got daylight to burn, so...
We're heading to B via that intersection point.
Yeah, we go 10 kilometers to northeast along the route, and then north, and then northeast.
Okay. Evan will mark that kind of line on his map, and then I guess we'll head out that way.
That's the blue line, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Adam, your puzzle makes me feel dumb.
That's okay.
It's not the puzzle that does it. I know what I am.
Kyle, you're kind of flipping through the parts where it talks about B just to kind of get a better idea of it. And it seems to be a poem of some sort here too, right? In the English one specifically, but in the French one, it's also talking about, like the mirror kind of stuff, right? Like in Al's, through the looking glass. And, but in the English version, you're looking at it and you're kind of reading through, and the words would be something along the lines of I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? And you realize that that's the lyrics to Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson song.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But that's what's kind of describing B.
Oh, that one I know. I know those lyrics. I like Michael Jackson, but then Jan, when Free Willy comes out, he goes, "Oh, Michael Jackson." I go, "I know this man." And that is a thing that we listen to together. Is Michael Jackson.
That's definitely the most known of any of the things we've gone through.
Oof. Free Willy was 94. That was right before everything went to shit.
I knew what I was saying. I did a little bit of research.
That's funny.
And then just because it's fun, all of a sudden, Kyle, you get an earworm, and it's Prince jumps at your head for some reason. It's about partying like it's 1999, and
It's not
that's not the same person at all. Maybe I'm racist.
That's not Michael Jackson.
I'm just kidding. It's Prince.
Not the same guy?
That is artist formerly known as Prince.
Oh no! That didn't happen in this timeline.
What year did that happen?
But earlier, but that didn't happen in this timeline. That's another difference between this timeline and ours.
Do they
Prince
specify
never
that
changed
in the
his
book?
name. Yes, 100%. It's in the referee's referee's manual on page 150 because I said so.
In appendix full of shit. That's it.
Yeah, it's on. Actually, I'll tell you what page it's on. It is on page.
It's 3. It's referee says so.
Basically, that I can pick and choose whatever the fuck I want and add to or take away from the timeline as I see fit.
But why? Why Prince?
I do feel like that was pre-97, though. But anyway.
It was 100% before 97, yeah. But not in this world. That never happened. So your guys' plan is to head towards B? That's going to be your plan? It is daytime right now. Right? Is that what we're in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was the daytime shift. So if you were to start headed towards B, you could. For the evening shift. Or
Let's do it.
You'd only be able to make it one hex, and you would go along that intersection point if you choose to. So
Yes. And investigate said intersection point.
that's fine. Actually, I should be like to fully investigate this area. You know what I mean? Like would
Take a
probably
shift?
Take a shift. Yeah.
But the investigator thing says a stretch.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like depending on how much you're like.
But then we still have to move to the intersection point,
Yeah.
and then a stretch, and then
I meant like doing this would be like everything because it's more than just like it's more than 10 minutes of
For sure.
combing the area is what I'm saying. So between everything,
If you want to count that as a shift, that's
I'm gonna
Seems
say
fair.
that as you guys are going along, if for some reason Kyle would like to do a scrounging roll, he is more than welcome to do so.
Survival.
how's that building?
Has he ever said no to that?
Any pluses for being in a building?
Yeah, I'll give you a +2 on this area.
Yes. A 3 and a 9. Can I re-roll the 3?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. That's a 3 again. Son of a bitch.
All right, so 1 success. Roll me percentiles. Womp womp, because that means we're just because the way I said we're doing it is if he gets more than 1 success, then we'll do something off the other shit.
42.
42 for scrounging.
It better be
All
a
right.
TV. Or a big computer.
You find a copy of a book, right? It's got this like smiley face on it, and it says "Don't panic" on it, and it's a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Wow. I ain't getting
No, I'm
nothing.
kidding. No, it's a roll of gaffer tape is what you find.
Oh,
Okay.
the book is better.
Yeah, okay, fine. We're gonna keep the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's like, I feel like 42 should just be.
I did not
Find the
put that on.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's it. Of course.
That's the answer.
Of course.
We win the
But
game.
like, yeah, like you pick up a piece of like wood and you just see it underneath there, and it's
42 was always the answer.
Weirdly
somehow managed to
pristine.
not be fucking completely destroyed. And we'll end on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because that's fun.
That is awesome.
If you or someone you love is struggling with combat-related PTSD, please call 877-717-7873. Again, that number is 877-717-PTSD. Or you can visit online ptsdusa.org. That's PTSD Foundation of America, If you call, you'll be immediately connected to a combat veteran who understands those experiences. And if you go to the website, they have in-person groups scattered throughout the United States. And if there isn't a peer group near you, they have online peer groups. Again, that's PTSD Foundation of America. If you're struggling, you don't have to go it alone.